will look at City Council's plan to increase pay and benefits. Later, how will inflation affect diesel prices and what does that mean for you? And we have updates on the invasion of Ukraine. All that and more on News OSU. Hello and welcome to News OSU. I'm Jolie Salee and today is April 11th, 2022. We're glad you're with us. In recent news about the war between Russia and Ukraine, President Vladimir Putin has assigned a new general to oversee the war. Army General Alexander Vornikov was named as theater commander of Russia's military campaign in Ukraine. Vornikov was the first Russian commander of Russia's military operations in Syria in 2015. He was awarded the title of Hero of the Russian Federation. For Ukraine, President Zelensky said the country is ready for a major Russian offensive move in the east of the country. The war has done enough damage on Ukraine. Ukrainian Ambassador Sergei Kosletsya reads a letter from a 9-year-old boy who wrote to his mother after she was killed by Russian soldiers.
Mama, this letter is my gift to you on the Women's Day of the 8th of March. Thank you for the best 9 years of my life. Many thanks for my childhood. You are the best mama in the world. I will never forget you. I wish you good luck in the heavens. I wish you to get to paradise. I will try to behave well to get to paradise too.
Austrian Chancellor Karl Nehammer met with Putin in Moscow and claims it was not a friendly visit. Nehammer is the first European Union leader to meet with Putin since Russia invaded Ukraine. The conversation between the two was very direct, open, and tough, with Nehammer addressing the serious war crimes in Bucha, and that all those involved will be held accountable. The EU will discuss how to move forward after this meeting. In other news, the State Department of Health reported 68 new cases of influenza between March and now. Flu season typically peaks between December and February. In 2020, the CDC reported unusually low flu activity with only 0.2% of respiratory specimens coming back positive. Healthcare workers believe this because of the mask mandates and virus behaviors.
Viruses are opportunists. It's really uncommon for someone to have flu and COVID at the same time. So if COVID is the dominant virus, then you're not going to get flu because it's been kind of crowded out.
Relaxing mask mandates and social gathering mandates may be the reason flu cases are rising. Flu symptoms include coughing, sneezing, fever, and runny nose or congestion. Make sure to wash your hands, use tissues, and limit your contact with others. If you think you may have the flu, OSU Health Services and other medical centers have flu tests available. The pandemic, as well as government safety nets like extended unemployment benefits, gave people the time and distance and perspective to reevaluate the place of work in their lives. Now, as inflation is rising, this is causing workers to leave their job or city to find better wages. In order to compete with the private sector for workers, Stillwater City Council is now planning to increase pay and benefits. I found out more on how this will affect workers in Stillwater. COVID-19 completely changed the workforce in the U.S. Millions of people lost their jobs as others adjusted to working from home as offices closed. But now it is inflation that is causing stress to Americans, as many have found that their salaries aren't enough to cover the rising prices of almost everything around us.
With the COVID pandemic and everything kind of winding down, people were cooped up in their house for 2 years and couldn't really get out and do things. And now everybody wants to get out and do things, but it's expensive right now.
In order to be more competitive, Stillwater City Council is now planning to increase pay and benefits to retain existing employees and draw in prospective employees to the city.
It's our intent that we get people to stay here in Stillwater, that they come to work for the city with good pay, good benefits, and more importantly that they stay with the city. Turnover costs so much, so it's important that once we get them that we can retain them.
According to a survey by Microsoft, 41% of workers globally are thinking about handing in their notice. And according to the Labor Department, more than 4.5 million people voluntarily left their jobs in November of this year. The city said its goal is to get an 85% match with Edmond if there's a comparable job. As for benefits, City Council has chosen to implement a reduced vesting period, with employees receiving 20% of the city's contributions to the retirement account each year. City Council will be looking at possible pay rates by salary tier to account for inflation since the last general cost of living increase. Money for increases will be set aside in the budget for the coming fiscal year. Raises will take effect on July 1st. For News OSU, I'm Jolie Salee. Inflation impacts not only the consumer, but the provider and the producer as well. Channing Nesmith is at On Cue and will tell us how high prices at the gas pump affect your purchase on a product.
I'm here at On Cue where we see the price of diesel is $4.59 per gallon. Let's see how these prices are affecting the trucking industry.
It's a ripple effect. The price of fuel goes up. So they have to, companies are forced to pass that on to the consumer. So everything that you buy from anywhere, Amazon, Walmart, your fuel, your bottled water, everything's brought at some point and touched by a truck.
A semi-truck can hold anywhere from 120 to 150 gallons of fuel per tank. In Oklahoma, diesel prices are at an average of $4.66 per gallon, whereas a year ago, the average was $2.93 per gallon.
I think now it's probably the highest I've ever seen it. I think back in 2015 is probably the second highest. It was around this, pretty close to the same price as it is now.
Olguin says if a load used to be $350 to deliver, it's now $600 just for the fuel. He says as a result, the diesel prices are affecting everyone and everything involved, but mainly the consumer.
I don't know a single person that's not filling up their tank across the country and saying, this is killing my food budget, my housing budget, everything they have to be able to deal with.
Looking across the state, Lawton's price of diesel is $4.56 per gallon, compared to 1 year ago at $2.79 per gallon. Oklahoma City is $4.71 per gallon, and a year ago was $2.89 per gallon. Jumping up to Tulsa, the cost of diesel is $4.68, and a year ago it was $2.97 per gallon. I'm Channing Nesmith reporting to you from On Cue for News OSU.
Across the country, communities have banned or restricted dogs because of their breed or perceived breed. Breed bans and restrictions force dogs out of homes and into shelters, taking up kennel space and resources that could be used for other animals. I'm Just Saying, James Parson takes a look at how the negative effect breed stereotypes can have on public policy in this week's I'm Just Saying.
A lot of times, leases will ban breeds by not allowing aggressive dogs, when actually that covers 4 different kinds of dogs. Almost 40 states inside the U.S. have banned pit bulls through breed-specific legislation, according to the ASPCA. The phrase aggressive breed has not been specified anywhere. It has been used as a blanket statement to group dogs that have been deemed too scary. Even with these bans, just a handful of dogs labeled as aggressive make up over 25% of the dogs owned in the U.S. One trainer at K9 Off-Leash Training says how she believes owners are to blame.
Whole reality check that needs to happen culturally for us if we really do want to help our dogs and also have an easier time living with them going forward.
It's big guys like this that get a bad rep from uninformed landlords and bad owners.
Dogs on the aggressive breed list have been getting the short end of the stick for long enough. It's proven that even dogs that have been trained or involved in fighting can be rehabilitated with a little time and affection, according to Vilbo's Rescue Center. An important part of caring for your dog is understanding your dog. Canine trainer Williams shares thoughts on knowing and understanding your dog.
Learning about the type of dog that you have, their history, and what they were used for, and then changing your perception and your expectations for your dog's behavior based on seeing it through a new lens.
Whether it be the myth of pit bulls having lockjaw or that they have the most powerful bite of any dog, it seems as though misinformation is more dangerous to them than they are to us. For now, aggressive dog owners are dealing with breed discrimination, and it is up to us to make a change. I'm James Parsons, and I'm just saying.
President Joe Biden announced new steps to regulate ghost guns. Ghost guns are untraceable homemade weapons that are often put together with parts sold online.
These guns are weapons of choice for many criminals. We're going to do everything we can to deprive them of that choice. And when we find them, put them in jail for a long, long time.
With the spike in gun violence, Biden announced new rules on purchasing kits to rebuild ghost guns. Anyone purchasing a kit will need to go through a background check, and those selling kits will need to include a serial number on the components of the weapon for tracing purposes.
What a week it was in sports. From Tiger Woods making the cut at Augusta to the MLB season finally getting started. And of course, Oklahoma State baseball taking the Bedlam series at O'Brate. It has been a wild week in the sports world. The wind was blowing out all weekend at O'Brate, and because of the Oklahoma win, no lead seemed to be safe until the final out. In Game 1, Oklahoma State blew a 3-run seventh-inning lead to lose 8-7. The Cowboys evened up the series in Game 2, overcoming a 4-run seventh-inning deficit to win 8-7. This set up a rubber match on Sunday with a Bedlam trophy on the line. After 2 games of back-and-forth baseball, the Cowboys jumped on the Sooners early with a 3-run home run for Oklahoma State's Nolan McLean. It was McLean's second home run of the series after McLean's solo home run in the 7th inning of Game 2 jump-started a late-inning Cowboy rally. Cowboys starting pitcher Bryce Osmond improved to 2-1 on the season, striking out 8 and holding the Sooners to just 1 run in 6 innings pitched in Game 3. The Cowboys are now 23-9 on the season and ranked number 5 in the country. They will be back in action later today at 6 p.m. to host Wichita State before they head to Morgantown over the weekend for a 3-game series with West Virginia. One of the biggest stories in all of sports over the weekend was Tiger Woods. He played in his first competitive golf tournament in over 500 days after fracturing his leg in a horrific car accident. Woods was dialed in during round 1 of the Masters, posting a 1-under 71, creating a buzz around Augusta National that no other golfer can bring. Woods posted a 2-over 74 on Friday to make the cut before closing out the weekend with a 6-over par 78 on both Saturday and Sunday to finish the tournament 13 over par and in 47th place. 3 former Cowboys competed in the Masters over the weekend. 2 2018 national champions, and a 2014 runner-up. Taylor Gooch, in his first start in the Masters at 30 years old, shot an impressive 2 over par for the tournament and tied for 14th. Victor Hovland continues to struggle chipping despite being the number 4th ranked golfer in the world.
Short game is just good short game, so for me it's more about trying to get the fundamentals down and just technique work.
And Matthew Wolff did something many golfers can relate to. He snapped his club at the 4th hole in a frustrating round 1 for the Matthew. Poke. Wolff has seemed to lost his golf swing as of late. Wolff had been ranked as high as number 12 in the world in 2020, but has fallen all the way to 49th after another missed cut for Wolff. World number 1 and former Texas Longhorn Scottie Scheffler is playing some dominant golf right now.
Gain control.
He won the Masters to make it first place in 3 of his last 5 tournaments, finishing the Masters 3 strokes ahead of second place, even after a 4-putt on the last hole of the tournament. It's no secret that both Cowboy baseball and softball both have College World Series potential. Dallas Haggerty dives into the potential of both these teams as they continue to stroll through conference play.
The Cowgirls softball team and the Cowboy baseball team are hitting their stride at the right time. These 2 teams play similar sports, one played on a much bigger diamond than the other. OSU has always been respected by the competition when it comes to softball and baseball. The Cowgirls currently hold a 30-7 overall record. The recent success has come from conference play, where the Cowgirls are 7-1. Finishing up a weekend series at Iowa State could improve that number. As Big 12 play looms on the horizon, the Cowgirls couldn't be stringing together wins at a better time. The biggest wins of the season so far include a recent 3-game sweep against Texas Tech on the Cowgirl home turf. If the Cowgirls can maintain this impressive .811 winning percentage, a trip to the NCAA Women's College World Series could be in the near future.
I can't recall a time when we've had this, and I've been on a lot of good programs.
The same goes for the Cowboys across the street, as they have dominated inside O'Brate Stadium. The Cowboys currently hold a record of 22-9. The Pokes are 6-2 in conference play. Taking care of business on the home grass has been a major priority for the team. Coach Josh Holliday believes if the team can win the majority of games at home, a trip to Omaha could be in the future plans.
I was excited to get home to play in front of our fans, especially the wonderful fans that we have.
The Cowgirls continue to prove to the world that they are the real deal right here at Cowgirl Stadium. It's safe to say that success has translated to the Cowboys as they have been rolling right here at O'Brate Stadium. For News OSU, I'm Dallas Haggerty. Thanks, Dallas. Oklahoma State was forced to shut down football practice last Monday due to 6 players in the program having type A flu. The practice will be made up towards the end of spring football, according to head coach Mike Gundy. Gundy said dealing with the last 2 years of COVID protocols might have helped his team discover the flu sooner rather than it would have.
If it wasn't for COVID, they would probably be practicing today and not find out till tomorrow, because that's just the way they are. But now, anytime somebody starts to feel sick, they go get checked right away, which I guess is a good thing.
Last but not least, all of us here at News OSU would like to say good luck to co-anchor Katie Pelzel as she leads the top-seeded OSU equestrian team to nationals. The Cowgirls' first duel is scheduled for 7:30 Thursday morning in Ocala.
And that's all we have for News OSU. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week. For News OSU, I'm Jolie Salee.